Hey, Prezi, what's up with driving in China?
I don't know, let's find out!
Okay.
Oh! No U-turns. You're just a sign.
Be my fun land. I don't ever want to leave. I'm in a tropic.
Dude, how's the car holding up since we got it?
It's pretty good. The only thing that ever went wrong was the battery is old, so I had that replaced. But when I replaced it, the problem is my left signal is on all the time. So this is what it looks like when I turn my left signal light on. Check it out. Oh, what's up, Laowinners? What a day. What a day. Seriously, for the last month, it's just been either really polluted,
Right.
really humid, or really, like, just misty trash,
Okay.
you know? And finally we get... Oh, that's the wrong thing.
What do we get?
Finally we get a day where it's sunny, it's beautiful, it's a great day for driving, so today we decided to talk about what's up with driving in China.
Driving in China is not for the meek. It's not for the
No.
weak of heart, that's for sure.
No.
You know, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, you're so crazy, you guys are suicidal to want to drive in this country.
Right.
And I would tend to disagree because, to be honest with you, as long as you're a very aggressive driver and you're always kind of,
Heads on a swivel.
yeah, heads on a swivel and you're actually paying attention, then you don't have to worry about too much.
No. Yeah, again, like, you drive aggressively, you keep your eyes open, you look out for e-bikes and stuff, it's not that bad.
Right.
Signals are optional.
Right. The thing is, like, a lot of people do pop out from the middle of nowhere,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it seems like, and I don't know if this is a cultural thing, but a lot of the traffic accidents that I see are people that just don't look before they pull out. I'd say that's like most of the
I would
traffic
say
accidents.
90%
Yeah.
of it is just getting T-boned from...
Getting T-boned, and like
blindly.
whether you're on a scooter or a motorcycle or whatever. And the crazy thing about that is like it's almost like they don't care about their lives. And it's bizarre. Maybe they like didn't get the common sense education to look for traffic coming out.
Well, I mean, let's just basically point out, I think the biggest question that people are going to ask, that's probably in your mind, is can Chinese people drive?
Right.
Is it a stereotype, and is it just not true, or can they
Sure.
actually not drive? What do you think?
Absolutely not. Chinese people cannot drive.
Yeah.
I think that Western educated Chinese people or people that grew up abroad is not obviously not a racial thing, right? It's not like, oh, they can't see or something. But I have a I have a feeling
That's not
that,
what I meant. It's not
Right.
racial. I think it's cultural.
Sure, exactly. So I think that when they're educated abroad, it's a little bit different. But here in China, like, for the most part, the education is so bad. And I'll tell you where it stems from. When I took my driver's exam here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The questions on the test had very little to do with actually driving. There were things like, what does this sign mean? If somebody asks you for directions, no joke, one of the options, if someone asks you for directions, one of the choices was, give them the wrong directions, right? It's things like that. It's almost like moral questions or something, right?
Yeah.
It's not about driving skill. And the guy in the car when I took my test, he told me that before I need to start the car, like if I take my foot off the clutch, put it in first gear, the parking brake has to be on first. Then as I release my foot off the clutch, give it gas, then I can put the parking brake off every time. That was in the exam, right?
Yeah.
So the coaches and the people testing me had absolutely no knowledge of driving themselves, which is kind of ridiculous.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's an epidemic, to be honest. And I think that ties into the fact that China has one of the highest per capita fatality rates for traffic accidents because people don't know how to drive.
Well, you can't. I suppose you can because they're doing it. But having a Western system, lights and rules and all those kind of things, but with a Chinese culture and a Chinese mind, just they don't mix. Chinese
Right.
people are not logical. Truth can never be proven in China, and all
Sure.
of those cultural things come into play when you're driving.
Right.
I agree with you. Chinese people simply can't drive. Their minds just don't work in that way. Now, is there road rules in China? Yeah, they're just kind of not written.
Sure.
Let me give you an example, okay? A little bit of an analogy. In the West, when you change lanes, you signal, you blind spot check, and then you
Right.
go.
Right.
If there's someone there, you make space and it kind of works out. In China, the only thing, this is rule number 1, the only thing that you need to worry about is what is directly in front of you.
Exactly.
Everything beside you, behind you, not your business.
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
As I blind spot check. It doesn't matter. So what happens is you signal if you wanna. It's really your choice. You move over. If someone's there, they'll honk and let you know, and then you
Sure.
kind of play
It's
a little
actually-
honking. I'm here, not really here.
Honking
Marco
is
Polo
actually
game.
it's actually in the law. If
Yeah.
you're going on a mountain road or something, you're supposed to honk on every corner.
Right. We do that in the West too with narrow roads.
Sure,
that's
but we're talking about like in any spot it's okay, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And-
Watch this.
Right, it's totally fine. You'll hear honking everywhere, like
Yeah.
all day and all night. Your brain will actually just block it out at some point, right?
Oh yeah. People get pissed off at honking in China, but you have to do it. It's
For
part of
sure.
the rules. I get yelled at when I go by people on my bike or whatever. They're like, you should have honked, and it's like, how about not be in my way?
Sure,
But I've got
sure.
my Western mindset
Right.
where you actually have to honk, otherwise you're just gonna get hit.
Right.
If they can't hear you, then you're pretty much just not there.
Absolutely. Now, I think a lot of the fatalities and a lot of the danger that comes out of Chinese driving is exacerbated by the fact that a huge percentage of people in China actually buy their license instead of actually taking the exams.
Yeah.
And I know family members of my wife that have done just that.
This bus, see if I honk, you'll know I'm here.
He's just trying to hit you. Now
I
we're in the
guess
now
I'm in
we're in the
this
bike
lane.
lane. Now we're in the bike lane.
Oh, well.
My mother-in-law, I've seen her drive the wrong way down the highway
Yeah.
because she missed the exit and reversed to the exit, then drives up the off-ramp on the exit.
I'd really like my lane back.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? And I'm just sweating bullets. I'm freaking out. I'm like, let me drive. And she's like, no, what's the issue? She like doesn't
Yeah.
get it, right?
Right.
So yeah. Another thing about driving in China is get used to traffic. Holy
Point
balls.
in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, case in point.
Point in case. This bus
What
has
are
got
you
it out for it.
doing?
Dude, he was Oh, he's gonna hit you.
I'm just gonna have to wait then, because he's
Yeah, let him
got
go
no
because
patience.
because there's
Otherwise, he's just gonna
this
hit
guy's
me.
just chatting on the phone. So you have to get used to situations like this, which would drive most people, I think, insane.
Right, you
from
just
back
have to
home.
keep a cool head and
Yeah.
accept the fact that people are going to do things that you don't like. And
Correct, because there's this weird phenomenon that I found out. If someone cuts you off back home, right, or clips you or does something, right,
he's not going to hit me.
we tend to get road rage and we get angry, right?
Yeah.
But Chinese people, even when they're in a tight spot and honking and kind of being like, what the hell, blah, 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 they just...
You
oh,
can't
what's
see
it-
what's happening, but this woman
This girl
just opened the bus doors.
like right on your car.
Yeah, I know. Well, I
She would
didn't
have had to
realize.
climb out.
I really, really, really wish I knew.
This guy's gonna kill us.
He's doing. I'm just going to back up.
Yeah, let's keep this safe, man. They don't get road rage. They don't freak out.
No, they don't. They're contented. Chinese people actually are very calm and they're contented in whatever situation. That's why, like, poor people in China are probably some of the happiest people.
Sure.
They're very contented with what they have.
Right.
And they value simplicity a lot.
Exactly.
That all, again, like it ties, like you said, ties into driving.
Right.
That guy cut me off twice and then got upset when I was in the lane that he forced me into.
Yes. This is China.
Right.
Anyway, so driving in China, you need to be prepared to be on your game, on the ball. Watch out. You will see more death here on the roads than probably anywhere you've been to.
Yeah.
I've seen people dead multiple times. I think you have
Oh,
as well.
wow.
You've only been here 2 years now.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, certain junctions and intersections, you see them and they get turned into milkshakes, basically.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time I was like, saw this guy slumped over. It was on a motorcycle taxi guy, and his brain was separated from his head, went from his body, and that haunted me. And nowadays, when I see it, I'm like, oh, that guy
Well,
died.
that sucks. Shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But yeah, if you're gonna drive in China, it's fine. You just gotta play their game.
Sure.
You can't assume that people are gonna be defensive and looking out for you. No, that's just not the way it's gonna work.
Now, because there's so many traffic accidents, you probably wonder how are they solved legally? Well, what will happen is you're not allowed to move your car from the scene of the accident, right?
Exactly.
And that's really frustrating because it causes traffic jams left and right. I've seen like 13-hour traffic jams because of a little bumper
Yeah.
bender.
Right.
What are they called? Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? So
Fender bender.
a fender bender. That's right, bumper bender. So I've seen traffic jams caused by this, but it's just because people aren't allowed to move the car. And basically what happens is the person at fault is always the person that is behind. It's always the person behind. So if you clip this guy in front of you, it's definitely your fault, no matter what, pretty much, which kind of sucks.
The
So.
bigger the vehicle, the more responsible you are for the vehicles that are smaller than you. That's the relationship here.
Sure, and if we're going to turn this into tips, I'm going to say the number one rule or law in China is not like what you have back home. It's if the car is expensive, get out of its way, because that's how it works here. If the car is expensive, number one, they have connections, so they can just mess you up if there's a traffic infraction. Number two, if it's your fault, you have to pay the damage, right?
Yeah.
And they actually give guidelines to taxi drivers about what brands to look out for to not hit, because the taxi company and the government doesn't want to pay like Rolls-Royce repair fees, basically.
Exactly.
So it's pretty funny. It's basically how much money you have, your connections, and what kind of car you're driving. So this kind of car gets no respect. People will push us off the road because even if it's their fault, they'll pay like $5 to fix anything.
Yeah,
right?
you could just, I bought this car for $1,100 US. So.
Sure.
You ride, I ride motorcycles. Let's talk about motorcycles for a second. If you're driving a motorcycle, are you going to be treated the same way here as you would in the West?
Absolutely not. And the thing is, if you're on a motorcycle here, you hear a lot of flack back home. They're like, they don't even care about bikers, those cagers. It's 10 times worse here. People will disregard your life nonstop.
Yeah, you're not. I don't care if you're driving a Suzuki GSXR
Right.
or whatever, and like a really expensive bike.
The stigma.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. You could be driving a 125 piece of shit Chinese bike, or you can be driving a really expensive bike. They simply disregard your existence, and it's your job to get the hell out of the way. So that was a quick briefing, I guess, on driving in China.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep it safe. Like if you come over here, to be honest, it's pretty scary, but if you manage to be aggressive and you're always looking out and you're always paying attention, unlike the drivers, you can always get a leg up. And I've always said this, actually. A lot of people said, you must be crazy to ride a bike in China. I actually find it a lot safer to ride a motorcycle because I can get around the nonsense.
Yeah, you have a lot more maneuverability to get out of the way. You're right.
Right, but I wouldn't suggest learning how to ride a motorcycle in China like we did.
Not a good idea, no. Anyway, so we're sitting here in a really gaudy, horrible restaurant eating Western food. And
one of our friends recommended this to us, and it's just wicked bad. Like honestly, I'm not going to review anything, but look at this.
Yeah,
this is a
sausage.
It's not bacon though. It's just like cardboard or something. And the sausage is actually like gray.
Yeah, this is. You guys can't see the lighting's shit in here. This is supposed to be bacon, like carbonara.
Yeah, that's not bacon.
No,
That's meat paper.
meat paper. Anyways, guys, what baijiu do we get today?
We have a baijiu.
Baijiu review.
Prozzy actually splurged a bit today,
I did.
and he actually got a box one. Yeah, this is a baijiu from Hubei province, and I actually tend to like that region's baijiu.
Yeah.
Sichuan, Hunan, Hubei. And this is the kind that you usually don't like. This is that sweet kind. You tend to like the grassier stuff.
I do. 42%?
42%.
Cost me about 100 kwai, which is
$17.
yeah.
Which still, in the grand scheme of things, is fairly cheap. But this would be considered a pretty good baijiu in China.
Yeah.
Smells like a southern baijiu. Smells good.
It's like a normal baijiu.
Yeah. Here and
Here
here.
into you.
That's good.
Burns the lips.
Actually, it's really refreshing and nice.
Yeah. What would you give that out of 10?
I'm gonna give that a 7.5. I liked it.
Great. I'm gonna give that probably 7.5.
Yeah.
8. Really, really good. Probably one of my favorite ones.
I think it's awesome.
That's what happens when you
Fantastic.
spend a little more money.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Laowinners. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Comment, link, and subscribe at the bottom.
Jingle jangle. Can't reuse that, can we?
No.
Anyway, don't forget, we're going to wrap up in a couple weeks. We're going to wrap up the votes for the naming of the car.
Right.
Not only can you vote on the comment section, but we'll also compile them with the Facebook poll on Loud86 Facebook. I'll open up the polling feature so you will be able to vote on there as well.
Yes. Anyway, see you guys next time. Stay positive.